And I always yo-yoed.
Yeah.
About 30 to 40 pounds. You know, I had a lot of friends at that point experiment with GLP-1s, and they had really been working for them. Yeah, I think it's a tool, right?
Yeah, it's a tool, and you did that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, just like those apps, or even seeing
Tools.
a doctor, a nutritionist, or
Yeah.
dietitian, right? Like they're all tools in your box, and it's about how you combine them and build something that's like sustainable for you.
For sure.
It's all about balance. at the end of the
True.
day.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dietitian's Table. I'm your host Joy, a registered dietitian, and today I have Talia with me. Thank you so much for coming, Talia, and let's get started.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about me. I moved to San Diego when I was 16 years old from Mexico. Grew up in Mexico from, before that time. I play a lot of tennis. I, work in tech, and that's kind of like a general overview. I don't know if you want to know anything else.
What do you do in tech?
I sell cybersecurity services.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so important right now.
I guess so. I definitely fell into it. It was, not something I ever sought out to do. I was in marketing originally, and then when I moved back to the US from Spain, I kind of fell into it. And yeah, I've built a pretty good career. It's definitely like a demanding job. I travel a lot. I'm, working late nights, but it's definitely exciting.
How often do you travel with your work?
I'd say minimum every other week.
Okay.
And then, locally, there's always some sort of happy hour or some dinner I have to go to a couple times a week as well.
So with the company and clients and...
Yeah, it's just visiting clients, or a lot of times like work networking type events or groups that I'm a part of. So conferences, it definitely changes. It's not, the cool thing about it is it's not something that's always stagnant.
So there's...
Every day looks new. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you like it, if you like having that new every day.
Yeah, I do. It keeps it, I think otherwise I'd get bored. For sure. And yeah, like I said, I do a lot of sports. Ever since I was a kid, my mom always made sure we at least had one activity. So I've tried everything, from like soccer to karate. But I think what has really stuck now as an adult is tennis. I play quite frequently. I do Pilates. I was doing Orange Theory before, so I definitely am a very active person, and I think that's super important for me in terms of keeping, a good balance between it all.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how does eating affect your day to day and your traveling?
Yeah, I think the eating piece, I was always someone that yo-yoed a lot in weight growing up, and as I've become an adult and with the work and the travel and all of that, it's something I've really had to learn how to manage differently, right? I mean, as we get older, our bodies just aren't the same. I can't get away with going out 3 nights a week like I did in college and all of that. I've had to learn more about nutrition and how to really nourish my body to feel better and to be able to show up at, 100% capacity. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster. I'm not going to lie. There's definitely been a lot of learning curves in order to get to a more stable place that I think I am now. I'd like to think.
Okay, good. That's good to know that you're in a stable place. And I'm sure knowing also if you're being very active, you want to make sure that you're nourishing your body to be able to perform in tennis and in your other activities as well.
Yeah, and that too was a learning, definitely like a learning curve as well. Last year I started off down a health journey. I sought out to lose 40 pounds. I'm only halfway there. But, in doing that, I had to really have an overhaul of what I eat on a day-to-day and really experiment. And actually, because I'm so active, a lot of these apps would tell you, only eat 1,200 calories or 1,400 calories. And then I would be exhausted and I couldn't go and just play tennis, or I couldn't, right? Like I was falling asleep in my meetings. So I really had to learn and experiment and see what was best for me in terms of, maybe not tracking so many calories, but focusing on, whole foods and actually listening to my body. But I mean, I'm sure you know too, is all you have to experiment. Yeah.
That's amazing that you really had to tune in with your body and say, okay, what works for me, what doesn't, because as much as these apps are trying to give you personalized advice, it's really hard to really know what you need because you're the one living in your body.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then my friend that, might give a certain advice, has a different body type or does a certain activity level or,
True.
just certain genetics. And it's just that same advice is not going to work, right? So
True, especially if there's any medical conditions that someone has otherwise too, that also affects the way you eat and what you have to eat.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been a learning curve for sure, but I think, I'm halfway to my goal, and through that I've found, I'm still searching for things that work, of course, but at least a good balance. I know, certain things definitely need to be cut out or when and where. So,
and it's an ongoing process. It's a journey.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And also even just figuring out like how to fit it all in and how to prep. I mean, I'm sure, like you have a busy family too. It's crazy you just have to put so much thought into what you're going to eat that week in order to really stay within, healthy-ish limits. I always try for like an 80-20.
What made you want to start that? You did say you did an overhaul of your eating habits a few months back. So what made you want to start doing that?
Yeah, honestly, like I mentioned, I always yo-yoed.
Yeah.
About 30 to 40 pounds. And I just wanted to feel and look my best. Mm-hmm. I'm the kind of person just in general, like I always want to be the best at whatever I do. So I love clothes. Like I wanted to be able to go into a store and not have my heart sink if I didn't fit into jeans or didn't fit into a dress. Like that was just a big goal of mine. And yeah, I was just fed up. I came home from a work conference. It was, I'm not going to lie, to the audience, but it was like a 3-day Vegas party, right? Like where you're just drinking and eating a lot, and my jeans like didn't fit me. And I just decided that day, like, okay, something has to change here because I don't feel comfortable. If I don't feel comfortable, I don't show up confident. Mm-hmm. And that's what's important to me. So.
And did you talk to your primary care physician? How did you get started? A dietitian?
Yeah, no. So I actually did see a nutritionist in Mexico.
Okay.
Admittedly, I don't know how the U.S. healthcare system works. I always take the easy out and go back to my home country for that kind of stuff. And I had a lot of friends at that point experiment with GLP-1s, and they had really been working for them. And so I, brought this up to her. In Mexico, you don't need a prescription.
Okay.
But a lot of people, they'll work with like a nutritionist or a dietitian and get, a tailored program.
Yeah.
They made me go and do like some blood analysis to make sure I was healthy. And yeah, I started very slowly, like on a very minimum dose for 2 months just to get my body adjusting. And immediately I started seeing the results I wanted, and a lot of the food noise just stop. And I was all of a sudden able to go to a work dinner and get the salad and eat half of it, and not get the second glass of wine. Like it was just this weird switch. It's hard to explain unless you've felt it. It just cut out a lot of that food noise.
Yeah, and I'm gonna explain a little bit to our audience what GLP-1 is, just in case. So GLP-1 is a hormone that is produced in our gut, and it's naturally occurring in our body. And when we eat, it's excreted to lower your blood sugars, to reduce your appetite, and it slows your digestion. So it gives your body naturally signals that are saying, I am getting full. I'm gonna stop soon, so it gives those fullness signals to your body. And then the GLP-1 medications, they mimic that hormone. So when you inject it, it gives this feeling of fullness even before you eat. So that's why when you eat less. and it just slows down the gastric emptying. So the food sits in your stomach for a longer time. And so digestion takes longer, and that's why you feel full quicker and you eat half or less of what you're used to eating. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean that goes.
So
good thing I'm sitting with the expert, you know. Yeah, that really is what it feels like.
And did you have any of those side effects? I know that there's a lot of common side effects with those medications. Did you experience any of those?
I'm really lucky. I didn't. I didn't have hair loss, nausea. I did not. I think I was well aware of those side effects, and a lot of them I stuck out. I don't want to say treatments, but hair loss is a side effect. So I went on and got Nutrafol, or there's certain ways you can prevent like getting nauseous, right? So I went ahead and made sure I had that stocked, and I was actually surprised I didn't have a lot of these side effects. But I started very slowly too.
Yeah, that's really important because it's dose dependent. So you really need to start slowly and then increase with the help with your physician or healthcare provider. And then the fact that you knew about those side effects made sure that you were like, okay, nausea is very common. What can I do to deal with nausea? And what did help? I'm curious.
What did help? I think I'm a big seltzer drinker.
Okay.
Like I love a LaCroix, a sparkling water. So I think that honestly kind of helped. But really, I think also I think some of my friends or, acquaintances that started GLP-1, they want the really quick weight loss half the time. And they go on a very high dose, maybe too quickly. And I really stood on the lowest dose for like 2 months.
Okay.
Right. And I haven't lost weight quickly.
Yeah.
Like, 20 pounds over 11 months isn't quick weight loss, right? Like I prioritize sticking to a low dose so that I didn't have a lot of those side effects.
Yeah. And with the fact that you lost weight gradually is going to help you maintain that weight and not regain it, for sure. Did you also incorporate some lifestyle changes? Did you do anything differently in the way you eat or in the way you exercise?
Yeah, so a big side effect that I was afraid of was the muscle loss. I think that's just a general weight loss side effect, but so many people actually were more worried for me about it. And so because that was in my head, I started doing more resistance training. I've since then actually laid off the resistance training because I've been in the summer playing more tennis, and it was just I was getting injured. I'd wake up, my knee, and I was like, okay, let's dial the resistance back a little bit. But I think, for a good 10 months, I was really focused on lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week. So I think that's one thing that helped the side effects. And I think in terms of actual nutrition, and I've changed a lot how I eat. I used to, I was Uber Eats' number one customer. When I was lazy at night, or, you're just so tired from the day. Okay, order sandwich, order this, whatever. I've really focused on, I'm not perfect, but I try to plan at least 2 to 3 meals. And then I have 1 to 2 breakfasts that I just kind of like rotate out.
Okay. Eggs
or yogurt, and I love papaya. So those are the breakfasts. And then the meals change. I get ideas off of TikTok. I'm not here, with some, I try to look at the macros and all of that, but I just try to eat more whole, not so much processed foods. If I do eat carbs or like a sandwich, it will be on like sourdough bread from like a bakery, right? So just really focus on doing that at least Monday through Friday.
Well, that is amazing, because a lot of people who take those drugs get on those drugs thinking this is the solution, and they rely on the drug to do all the work, and they don't do any changes in the way they eat and the way they exercise. So then as soon as you stop taking that drug, what happens? Your habits haven't changed. So you're going to go back to your habits, your normal eating patterns, and then you're going to regain the weight back. So it's very important to use that drug with lifestyle changes to make sure that you're going on a more sustainable change.
Yeah, I
And
think
you did
it's a
that.
tool, right?
Yeah, it's a tool, and you did that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, just like those apps, or even seeing a
Tools.
doctor, a nutritionist, or
Yeah.
dietitian, right? Like they're all tools in your box, and it's about how you combine them and build something that's like sustainable for you.
For sure. And has that changed the way your relationship with your body and the way you view yourself now that you've been almost halfway through your journey?
Yeah, halfway for sure. Well, I don't go into a store and have a panic attack anymore. I can actually go shopping, which is nice. I know that's one of like the more vain side effects. And then I feel a lot more confident, and I'm not afraid when a friend takes a picture anymore. And I know that a lot of these are vain and surface level, but for me, that they are something that is important.
I wouldn't say vain, because I know that especially now with, everything being on social media, everyone's more aware of how they look and how they mirror themselves to the world. So I feel like this is a valid concern, but it makes me sad to think that you were feeling that self-conscious and about taking pictures with your friends.
Yeah, so. No, I was. I hated seeing. I would hide or like be the person that's like all the way in the back, or or be offered to take the picture. And now it's just not a concern. Now, even though I feel like I still have some progress to achieve, I am not like afraid anymore. Like I like how I look, and I think that's important,
For sure.
So it is sad though. It is very sad, and I wouldn't want like my daughter or my cousins feeling like that, but I think it is unfortunately a little bit of like the world we live in.
And how do you, what do you keep in your toolkit for you to empower yourself on a daily basis? Is there something specific that you do to just feel confident and add that little bit of confidence in your day?
Yeah. So I think I'm a big proponent of starting your day off with a workout.
Okay.
Obviously, in the busy world, we can't all be perfect, but ideally, I love a 7 a.m. workout class, whether it's Pilates, it used to be the resistance training. I think doing that just makes you feel like you've at least conquered one task in the day and you've done something hard. And then I think in the world of Zoom too, really actually getting dressed and putting on makeup for your calls, if you're a remote worker like me, I think makes a difference. Not sitting there in your sweats. Have the breakfast, like sit maybe somewhere that's not your desk. Like these little habits really help you just show up, I think, more confident in the world.
I agree. For the morning workouts, when I used to work in the mornings, and I just felt like I would be more confident during the day just because I feel more energized. Just because it's not, I didn't just wake up and go to work. I did something, I was productive, and I just felt good. So I understand.
I sometimes I'll do a 6 a.m. and that's when you feel really good. If you feel good at a 7 a.m. at a 6 a.m. you feel like you can conquer the world.
And then go to bed very early.
Yes. No, for sure. But yeah, I think those are some things. And I think also just keeping a semi-nutritious diet. Again, I'm not perfect. I mean, I love to go out with my friends and have some drinks and all of that fun stuff. But it also you just feel better. There's no way around it. I mean, I feel better now than I did when I was eating McDonald's a couple times a week. Because
you're eating more whole foods, you're eating nutritious foods, and making sure that you have a balance. So you're not cutting off completely the processed foods. You're just finding your right balance.
Exactly. And then, your skin looks better. It's just all like a snowball.
Yes. The snowball
it's
effect.
Just a snowball. Yeah. I was in Spain last month for 3 weeks, and all I ate was like bread and cheese, and my skin, I started breaking out all over. I still have some because it was, it's going away, but it's just, you notice the effects of changing your diet.
And what personal advice from your personal experience would you like to tell someone who's just starting on this journey? It could be the GLP-1 journey, or it could be just, making changes in your eating habits and your lifestyle.
Yeah, I think I think for the GLP-1 journey, definitely, you know, there's a lot of stigma around it. But I think if you're someone that's really always struggled, it's not a bad thing to look into. And I think there's so much shame, and like you just have to really view it as a tool.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, like this is the only thing that can help me get to where I want to go or what have you. And I think in terms of advice for lifestyle, find things that are fun and find foods that you'd like to eat. You know, I hate broccoli. I don't cook broccoli.
Yeah.
Right? Even though half the healthy recipes are all broccoli, right? And just don't cook it.
There's so many different vegetables.
Yeah. Find the vegetables you like. Or I hate running. I don't run. Well, tennis is sprinting, but I'm never going to be that person that signs up for the run club. Yeah. And that's okay. That doesn't define you, I think, as like a healthy person.
True. Find what works for you in terms of food, in terms of exercise. And I also wanted to put a disclaimer for the GLP-1. Again, it is a medication. It has side effects. So this is your personal journey for our audience. This is Talia's personal journey with GLP-1. It does not work for everyone. It is not medical advice. So if you are looking into it, please consult with your primary care physician. If you can work with a dietitian, that is amazing, because you need to incorporate all those different tools in your toolbox to be able to make sustainable change. And again, everybody is different. And every person has a different medical history. So what works for Talia and for someone else may not work for you. So please inform yourself and talk to your primary care provider.
Yes, definitely do so. My word is not Bible. So.
Yeah, we're just sharing your story. And I think that's very important, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going through that, and they may experience side effects, or it may be super easy for them. It depends on the dose again. So it is very dose dependent. And as you go up your dose, you may feel the side effects more.
Yeah, that is very true. And I've really maintained, I've only gone up in dose twice. So the introductory, I'm kind of at the middle.
Yeah.
And because I still have like a slow weight loss, I'm just in the camp that like, why go up in dose?
And slow weight loss is perfect. It's okay if it's going slow. It's okay if it's not as fast as you want it, because again, you want sustainable change. You want something that once you're off the medication, you can maintain and still continue on your health journey.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because we want to avoid this yo-yo, and that's when you go on very strict dieting or high doses of GLP-1, you lose all that weight, and then as soon as you stop it, you go back to your normal eating habits, and then your weight just goes back up.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, you have to kind of play with fire a little bit and see what's right for you, but 1,000%. I'm so curious from your point of view, what advice or, tools do you think I should be incorporating aside from, what I've kind of told you I've done?
What do you feel like's missing?
I think I have a very good handle on when I'm at home and I can control.
Okay.
Self-admittedly a control freak. And I think also I live alone, so I don't have kids bringing in candy or, the husband that wants to eat this. I can control what I buy and what I make. I think when I travel, sometimes it is still difficult finding healthy foods on the go.
For sure.
At airports, sometimes it's like only a banana, depending on what airport you're at. And I think that's definitely something I can still work on.
Okay. And so you did mention that you travel often. Do you pack some snacks when you travel, or?
I try to, yeah.
Like a banana or something else?
I like an apple. I prefer an apple.
Okay.
I'll try to even do some of these like bars. But again, even though they have high protein, a lot of them have a lot of sugar.
Yes.
But I feel sometimes it's also better than eating something random at an airport. So
I agree. The bars are very tricky because they're getting you all this protein, but also there's the fats, the saturated fats, and the added sugar. So make sure that it has at least less than 10 grams of added sugar per bar. And then the fats, as long as it's under, I mean, it really depends on if it's saturated fats or the total fat content, but at least if you look at the added sugar, less than 10 grams.
And what's the difference between saturated fat and total fat?
So the total fat is the total fat that is in the bar, but then there's different types of fat, right? So the saturated fats is the fat that gets that has negative side effects on your body, that raises the bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. So this is what you want to reduce, and the more it's processed, the more there's saturated fats.
Okay.
But also you can find saturated fats in other naturally occurring fats, like coconut oil and coconut butter is saturated fats. So
it does exist, but obviously if you eat something,
it depends on what the bar what's the ingredient inside the bar.
Makes sense.
So you want to make sure that the saturated fat is as low as possible. We usually aim, like a rule of thumb is less than 10% of your daily fat intake.
Okay.
Yeah.
It should be
from saturated fats.
Fats. Okay.
So protein bars are a good option, but you just need to look at the added sugar and the fat content. Also the list of ingredients, there's other ways to get some healthy fats with you on the go. You can take some packed nut butters, those nut butter
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, so that's healthy fats that you can have on the go. Or trail mix. It has dried fruits and nuts and seeds.
Maybe not the one from Costco that has M&Ms though.
Well, if there's a little bit of M&Ms, it's okay.
Okay, trail mix. That's a good one. I hadn't thought of.
Yeah, and I don't know if you like edamame or chickpeas.
Ooh, yeah.
Those could be a good option if they're dried edamames or roasted chickpeas, for example. So these are easy to take with you snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy snacks to pack with you on the plane or in your luggage.
I like that option. Yeah, on my last trip, I went a little far and I did some portioned almonds and
wow.
Cheese, but then I didn't think too much that the cheese was gonna really smell when I opened it.
That's tricky because I think cheese is tricky because if it's a small flight and if you know that you're gonna eat it within the next 2 hours, then it's fine. But then if you have a long flight, if you're going to Spain, for example, cheese is not a good idea.
Yeah, not a good idea. But no, I like that edamame. I think I'm gonna look out for that in my next one. And
again, you need to think of what works for you and what you like. Like you mentioned, just make sure that you can get a fruit. You can get some nut butters or avocado. I don't know if it's gonna be practical to eat an avocado, but
that one's tough. That one's a little messy.
Tough, yeah. And just making sure that you have a lot of different food groups. And then in airports now, there's a lot of yogurts and granola or oatmeal type of ready to go packets. Yeah. So that could be an option. Instead of having pastry, you can have yogurt and granola or an oatmeal and with some fruits.
Yeah, I like the yogurt option.
Yeah,
that's definitely good because sometimes you just get so busy too. You didn't prepare your snacks.
True. So the fact that you have that option that could, once you're there, and then keep the snacks you have already packed with you for the plane, or
you can always
have them later.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's definitely, those are some good tips for sure.
Yeah.
And I think too, another thing I do struggle with a lot is just when you're out with friends. And I was out with friends this weekend and she was like, "Oh, why aren't you drinking tonight?" And I said, "Well, because I had a dinner on Tuesday and I had, 2 glasses of wine. I just need to make cuts." Yeah. And I think also alcohol consumption can really, really derail your your health journey. I mean, I'd love to know from your point of view, but I've heard, through just working with a nutritionist and just other health professionals, right, that even if you drink, it slows down your metabolism. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but, for a couple days or, then there's some other obvious side effects that, okay, if you have a few drinks, then you're probably more inclined to like eat a midnight snack or little things like this.
True. You'll get more hungry. So try to still stick to 1 glass. I would say if you can, you did mention the glass of wine. That's a good option. Especially red wine. It has a lot of antioxidants.
Okay, I'll try to stick to red. That's a good one.
And avoiding those, those cocktails, even though they look fancy and fun, they just have so much sugar. And the sugar with the alcohol is gonna, is gonna make you not feel good. It's gonna hit you harder for sure. And make sure you hydrate. So when you order your drink, make sure you have a glass of water next to it and drink at least a glass or 2 with each of your drinks. But if you can stick to 1 and just sip slowly throughout the night and enjoying the conversation, then hopefully you can just stick to 1 drink. Then you can still enjoy your time.
Yeah. No,
and in moderation.
In moderation, for sure. And definitely, picking and choosing to when you want to, right?
Yeah.
And you just can't do it all.
And there's nothing wrong if you want to get a seltzer on ice with like a slice of lime. It can look like
I do that a lot actually already, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a big trick up my sleeve.
Amazing.
Yeah. But no, it's all about balance.
True.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. Thank you, Talia, for being here. And for our audience, if you want to apply to be a guest on the podcast, you can fill out the application on our website, thedietitianstable.com. Thank you, and we'll catch you in the next episode.